An accident in Trenton has left one person dead. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. Police are looking for a person involved in a hit-and-run crash in Bangor that injured a pedestrian. And the commission investigating the Lewiston mass shooting held a public hearing yesterday. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories in just a moment. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Friday afternoon. Here's what we're watching. A winter weather advisory is posted through Friday at around 10 p.m. though for the counties highlighted here. And it's purple shade though because of accumulating snowfall that will be expected. That'll make travel just a little bit tricky. And it's all starting to move in now, tracking from the southwest and going to the north and east. So things will be a little bit tricky for a bit though with this moisture moving in. This will all fall as snow, maybe a little bit of rain along the coast, but mainly as snowfall for us. So we're 2 to 4 inches of snow, maybe locally up to 5 inches in some spots. Cannot be ruled out. But let's zoom things out though. Here's that push of moisture right here too. We'll keep this going throughout the daytime period today. It'll start to back off a little bit later on tonight. So Futurecast showing that snow moving in. Notice by around 8 o'clock, most of it's out of here. Maybe still a few leftover snow showers. But even by Saturday morning, we're a lot calmer. Just the clouds that will be sticking around. The winds on land, not too bad at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Along the coast, maybe a few higher gusts up to 15 miles per hour. Cannot be ruled out in a few spots. So your forecast for the rest of today will say snow likely with highs in the lower 30s. 2 to 4 inches of snow possible. Locally up to 5 inches in a few spots, and an east wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. By tonight, mostly cloudy, maybe a few leftover snow showers with lows in the middle 20s. The northeast wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. For tomorrow, here we go, middle 30s, mostly cloudy, and the wind overall looking nice and calm. That hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period showing that snow falling with temperatures in the lower 30s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. We're starting off with some breaking news this noon. A search is underway in Carmel. Devin Dagnall joins us with the details. Devin?
Thank you. We're currently searching for a 51-year-old man from Carmel. We have no confirmation on the man's identity, but according to a release from the Maine Warden Service, it is presumed he drowned in Etna Pond Friday morning. The Maine Warden Service dive team is on scene and expected to start diving later today. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. A crash in Trenton has left one person dead and 2 others injured. It happened on Route 3 just before 6 last night. According to the Hancock County Sheriff's Lieutenant Brian Archer, 19-year-old Gage Johnson of Mount Desert was driving at a high rate of speed and passed another vehicle. Archer says when he re-entered the southbound lane, Johnson lost control and overcorrected. According to Archer, Johnson's car spun 180 degrees in the northbound lane and then traveled backwards, striking a vehicle driven by 28-year-old Ashley Gardner of Bar Harbor. Johnson died at the scene. Ashley Gardner and her passenger were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Archer says speed was determined to be a factor in that crash. Bangor police are asking the public for help tracking down a vehicle they believe was involved in a hit-and-run crash. Police responded to a call about a pedestrian struck by a vehicle on Union Street near the intersection of 14th Street just after 6:30 last night. Lieutenant Jason Stewart says when they arrived, they found a 46-year-old man who'd been struck by a vehicle which had already left the scene. The man was transported to the local hospital where he remains in stable condition. Here's a photo of the vehicle police believe was involved in that crash. Right now, the year, make, and model of the car is unclear. Anyone with information on the vehicle or the driver is asked to call the Bangor Police Department at 947-7384. A 3-month investigation by the Maine Drug Enforcement Agency has resulted in the arrest of 6 people from Ellsworth and Mount Desert. MDEA Commander Peter Arno says drug agents made several undercover purchases from residents at 1261 Main Street in Mount Desert and 6 Kylie's Way in Ellsworth. At approximately 4 Wednesday afternoon, they searched both homes. Arno says they found 35 grams of fentanyl, 20 grams of crack cocaine, 200 strips of Suboxone and other drugs, as well as $9,000 in suspected drug proceeds. 55-year-old Carl Carter of Mount Desert, 42-year-old Ian Jellison of Southwest Harbor, and 37-year-old Shannon Stanley of Tremont are all charged with trafficking in fentanyl. 48-year-old Jeffrey Card of Ellsworth is charged with trafficking methamphetamine. 54-year-old Alfred Lanfer of Mount Desert is charged with trafficking fentanyl and cocaine base. 36-year-old Justin Bent of Southwest Harbor is charged with unlawful possession of cocaine. All of them are expected to appear in court today. A woman has been charged with arson following a fire in Clinton. Investigators say 30-year-old Jamie Perry intentionally set fire to her apartment unit. Police and firefighters were called to a building on Roderick Street around 9:30 Wednesday night. They determined the fire originated from a kitchen stove and it was purposely set. Officials say Perry lived in the apartment and she was arrested and charged with arson. Fire crews managed to contain damage to that single unit. Other tenants have been allowed to return to their own apartments. The independent commission to investigate the Lewiston mass shooting held the first of many fact-finding hearings Thursday as they work to get to the bottom of the events and police response leading up to the October 25th mass shooting. Sheriff's deputies blamed the yellow flag law for their inability to act during their previous interactions with the Lewiston mass shooter. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard explains.
The commission investigating the Lewiston mass shooting held their first public investigative hearing. For around 6 hours, they questioned Saginaw County Sheriff's Office about their interactions with Robert Card prior to the October 25th mass shooting.
We all share a common goal, to understand what happened on October 25th in Lewiston and to do everything that we can to ensure that nothing like this tragic event ever happens again in our state.
During the hearing, commission members heard about Saginaw County Sheriff's Office's first interactions with Robert Card, which was in May of 2023, when Robert Card's teenage son and ex-wife had concerns about his mental health and access to firearms. Deputies decided not to speak with Card, but instead to speak with his family members and Army Reserve unit about the concerns.
He told me that, in fact, Mr. Card had been accusing fellow service members of the unit of calling him a pedophile.
Deputy Carlton said he believed the decision to not try and make contact with Card was the right decision. And say they felt limited by their actions due to Maine's current yellow flag law.
Because there was evidence of mental health issues, there was access to firearms, but there did not seem to be any threats of suicide or homicide.
Correct.
Or imminent threat to other persons. You determined that protective custody, at least at that point, was not appropriate. Is that fair?
That's partially fair. You know, through the lens of May 3rd, I truly believe I took the best course of action to get him on the right path he needed to be on.
In mid-September of 2023, deputies were contacted by members of Card's Army Reserve unit and asked to conduct a welfare check. Deputies went to Card's address, but weren't able to make contact.
And the way his home's set, it's a mobile home. You're driving kind of into the end of it, not the side. Could see curtains moving. Could hear moving, could hear something moving. I presume it was him. I believe that he was in fact home.
Sergeant Schofield said there was a number of factors why he didn't continue to try and make contact with Card, one being the timing of the report.
And once I found out that that information was, in my mind's eye, over 12 hours old, it didn't meet the same urgency standard as someone in crisis right here and now that needs to be dealt with.
Sheriff Mary defended his department's response to Card's actions prior to the shooting.
Deputies believed that the matter with Mr. Card had been resolved and that when they ended their involvement, that he posed no risk to himself or to others.
The next hearing is scheduled for February 1st, where the commission will hear from the families of victims from the Lewiston mass shooting. In Augusta, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
7 News at noon, lawmakers unveiled new legislation that aims to help Mainers struggling with medical debt. We've got the details when we return.
Because I have both Medicaid and Medicare, I got a special Medicare Advantage plan from WellCare. It's called DSNP. That's DSNP. And it stands for Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan. My grandson, it's my boy.
Hey, Grandma.
And a WellCare DSNP comes with a whole lot of these. As in, WellCare gives me benefits I can use every day, and real human support, and answers I can understand. And I get benefits like $0 copays on prescriptions, and a WellCare Spendables debit card to pay for things like dental, utilities, and groceries. I can even use it to pay at the pump for gas. And that means a WellCare DSNP provides what I need when I need it. And that gives me the confidence I need to get through every day.
The coverage you need and more. Call or visit wellcareyes.com to see if you qualify for more benefits.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. With America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $249 a month, including $500 lease bonus cash. See your Bangor Hyundai dealer.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
Create the perfect spaces in your home for 2024 at the Furniture Gallery. Entertain in style this year with a new dining set. Have room for everyone on movie nights with a big sectional and extra seating. Feel more rested with a new mattress from Serta, Restonic, or Nectar. Celebrate the new year with unbeatable values during our New Year blowout sale. Save up to 60% on clearance items here at the Furniture Gallery. Support our main family-owned business and save money. Happy New Year from our family to yours. The Furniture Gallery, in Augusta, Bangor, Newport, and North Windham.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
With the first-in-the-nation primary in New Hampshire over and Donald Trump winning by double-digit margin, Trump is seeing new endorsements from GOP politicians. Maine's Republican Senator Susan Collins went on the record Thursday saying she couldn't see herself endorsing former President Trump, even if he gets the Republican nomination for president. We spoke with UMaine's Chair of Political Science, Mark Brewer, who shared his thoughts on whether Senator Collins' decision could affect the race for president or Collins' own political career.
It probably hurts them both, but with different groups of Republicans, right? I mean, I think, for Senator Collins, if for those Mainers who are diehard Trump supporters, they're probably grumbling today. And they've, probably something along the lines of, Susan Collins is a rhino, and I've always known she was a rhino, and she's not supporting the party. On the other hand, if you're a never Trump Republican or an unenrolled voter who could vote for somebody of either party, you're probably looking at Collins and saying, well, good for her for having, the courage to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to set my principles aside. I'm not going to endorse this person just because they're a member of my own party.
Senator Collins went on to say she was not formally endorsing Nikki Haley either. More than 62,500 Maine people signed up for coverage in 2024 through Maine's insurance marketplace. Open enrollment through coverme.gov ended last week. A release from DHHS says 4 out of 5 Mainers who selected a plan qualified for financial assistance. More than 10,000 were new consumers who didn't have a marketplace plan that tops last year's numbers. The next open enrollment will start November 1st. A controversial bill that would have provided gender-affirming care for minors from other states has been killed in Augusta. The bill reads that the state could temporarily take jurisdiction over minors who are unable to receive gender-affirming care in their own state. That was a big concern for Maine Republicans who feared young people would receive gender-affirming surgeries in Maine without their parents' consent. The sponsor says that wasn't the intent, claiming it was really to protect transgender children from an unsafe environment. Lawmakers unveiled new legislation that aims to help Mainers struggling with medical debt. Matthew Jaronczyk has this story.
Thursday afternoon, Senators Troy Jackson and Mike Tipping introduced bills that would combat medical debt.
If you don't pay for your health, you pay with your life.
According to a March 2022 KFF survey, 100,000 or 41% of U.S. adults are dealing with some kind of medical debt. Senator Jackson's bill, LD 2184, will limit exploitative medical credit card practices by putting consumer protections in place for patients. Senator Tipping's bill, LD 2115, will allow Mainers the right to refuse the initial sale of their medical debt to a debt collector for a lesser value.
We need to have some broader systemic changes to a broken system, but it'll help. And right now, Mainers need all the help they can get.
Affordability is one of the biggest issues Maine Consumers for Affordable Healthcare Executive Director Ann Willison sees from Mainers across the state.
We heard about affordability in 2022 from about 3% of our calls. This past year, we heard about affordability issues at about 25% of our calls.
Maine People's Alliance's Patricia Kidder knows how medical debt can destroy people's lives. Her own medical debt forced her to file for bankruptcy in 1997. Kidder says no one should be suffering from medical debt like she did.
This is ridiculous that people have their credit ratings ruined for 10 years over medical debt. This is not right.
In Augusta, Matthew Juronsik, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
After the break, a landmark in Dover-Foxcroft could be removed. We'll be right back.
Because I have both Medicaid and Medicare, I got a special Medicare Advantage plan from WellCare. It's called DSNP. That's DSNP. And it stands for Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan. My grandson, it's my boy.
Hey, Grandma.
And a WellCare DSNP comes with a whole lot of these. As in, WellCare gives me benefits I can use every day. And real human support. And answers I can understand. And I get benefits like $0 copays on prescriptions and a WellCare Spendables debit card to pay for things like dental, utilities, and groceries. I can even use it to pay at the pump for gas. And that means a WellCare DSNP provides what I need when I need it. And that gives me the confidence I need to get through every day.
The coverage you need and more. Call or visit wellcareyes.com to see if you qualify for more benefits.
A family-owned and operated business since 1953, Hammond Lumber Company recognizes the value of their team members and the importance of employee satisfaction. Hammond is honored to have been named one of the best places to work in Maine for 3 years running. This year, Hammond was selected as one of the best companies to work for by Business New Hampshire magazine. Hammond is always looking for great people to join their team. To find your place on the Hammond team, click on the careers link at hammondlumber.com.
Your local professional eco-friendly office space partner is WVII Business Solutions, your one-stop shop to get the job done. Handling all your office furniture and printing machine needs at an affordable price. Offering full system integration into your workplace and local service on everything we sell. We can even remote monitor your system with just-in-time inventory and service need assessments. Little to no downtime gives you peace of mind. At WVII Business Solutions, your solution is only an email or a phone call away.
Welcome to the Orono Arcade, your local, affordable destination. We want to provide you with the best experience we can without costing a small fortune. Our ever-popular 9-hole blacklight mini golf course is a huge attraction. Plus, we have the best arcade video games to choose from, including both modern and retro games. We have weeknight specials consisting of... We look forward to seeing you soon at the Orono Arcade.
The Mayo Mill Dam in Dover-Foxcroft has been a staple in the area for over a century. Now the town is considering its removal. Our Grace Blanchard spoke with town officials and area residents to find out more.
The sounds of rushing water from the Mayo Mill Dam can be heard all throughout downtown Dover-Foxcroft. However, after over a century of sitting on the Piscataquis River, town officials are considering its removal due to its aging structure and major flooding risks.
You can't just put a dam in a river anywhere and just keep it there without serving no public purpose.
According to the chairman of the town select board, the dam has not been producing any electricity for over a decade.
I think this is a chance to honor our past history while moving into the future, and I hope the future does not include flooding dangers.
Lizotte says the storms this past December were a rude awakening as much of the area suffered major flooding.
That was Mother Nature's message to us: take this seriously, do something about it.
If they choose to remove the dam, the select board is considering the idea of creating a community park along the river. Some community members are welcoming the idea of change.
I think what I'd like to see is somehow put in a science and history center along with the dam or somewhere in the area.
However, the town is expecting many to push back.
I don't know anything different about the river. That's all I've ever seen. But continuing to do it that way leaves us increasingly vulnerable to flooding. And I cannot, as an elected official, allow that to happen. We need to do something.
In Dover-Foxcroft, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The Supreme Court denied a request to stop a controversial execution in Alabama, clearing the way for the nation's first execution using nitrogen gas. The state made the switch from the lethal injection after their first attempt to execute the man didn't work. Correspondent Connor Hansen has the story.
Kenneth Smith made some bad decisions 35 years ago, and his debt was paid tonight.
Kenneth Smith, a 58-year-old convicted in a murder-for-hire case, became the first person in the country to be executed with nitrogen gas. Smith's 2022 lethal injection was called off at the last minute when authorities couldn't find a vein. The state of Alabama says the new method is humane. To carry it out, a mask is put over the inmate's face and air is replaced with pure nitrogen gas.
The Department of Corrections and the Attorney General's office have assured us that all the protocols are in place and it will be safe.
But anti-death penalty advocates around the world disagree.
This could amount to torture or other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment under international human rights law.
Smith's spiritual advisor said he was worried about getting exposed to the gas himself.
The state of Alabama is asking me to go into a situation where I have no training and no idea what's going to happen if something does happen.
Kenneth Smith and another man were convicted in 1988 for stabbing Elizabeth Sennett several times. Prosecutors said they were each paid $1,000 by Sennett's husband.
All three of the people involved in this case years ago, we have forgiven them.
Kenneth Smith chose the nitrogen gas method after the first lethal injection attempt didn't work. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
New herbal essences, sulfate-free, packed with pure aloe and camellia flower oil your hair will love. And none of the things it won't. Hair that feels deeply nourished, soft, and lightweight. New herbal essences.
For fast sore throat relief, try Vicks VapoCool Drops with 2 times more menthol per drop and powerful Vicks vapors to vaporize sore throat pain. Vicks VapoCool Drops, vaporize sore throat pain.
Come stop by Triple S Tack Shop, 315 Hamden Road, Carmel, for quality clothing and equestrian gear. Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
It's high school basketball season, and ABC7 and Fox 22 are here to keep you up to date with your local scores and highlights during Friday Night Fast Break. Get out and support your hometown teams and look for our sports crew to get your own free Friday Night Fast Break t-shirt courtesy of
Coastal Auto Parts, Hamlin's Marine, Leo & Sons Auto Repair, Maine Collision Center, Old Town Archery, and Sargent.
All this week, we're highlighting some of my favorite TV shows from the past, as well as a recipe inspired from each one. Today, we're kicking things off with a show that I watched every Friday night, The Brady Bunch. So you can only imagine how excited I am to have Christopher Knight, who you might recognize as Peter Brady, right here in the test kitchen. Welcome.
Hey, Howard. Oh, I'm so excited being here.
Isn't it great?
I love your place.
You know, I loved watching The Brady Bunch, and my favorite episode was when you were trying to imitate Humphrey Bogart, and you asked your mom and Alice what was for dinner.
Remember it like it was yesterday. Now, the funny thing about that was I didn't know who Humphrey Bogart was, so I was doing an impersonation of our associate producer's impersonation of Humphrey Bogart, and he had this real clumsy way of doing Humphrey Bogart, now that I know who Humphrey Bogart is. head tilted, the lips like that. Pork chops and apple sauce.
There you have it. Well, in tribute to that classic line, guess what we're making today?
Let me guess. Pork chops and apple sauce. Isn't that swell?
That's right, and our version starts with thick cut pork chops that are hand breaded and sauteed with caramelized onions and served with homemade applesauce. You can get the recipe for what Peter Brady calls
pork chops and applesauce
simply by visiting our website. You can also check out our behind the scenes interview where Chris shares all that's going on in his life today. I'm Howard with Christopher Knight in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found
a very Brady way
for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Now let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Today's full weather forecast is brought to you by Healing Hands Massage in Hamden, providing professional massage services tailored specifically for their clients. Stop by Healing Hands Massage today. You'll thank yourself later. Alrighty, here we go. This is a winter weather advisory here, posted until about 10 o'clock later on tonight, though, for the counties highlighted here in its purple shade because of accumulating snow that will be expected. That'll make travel a little bit tricky in some spots as well. Be careful with that throughout the daytime period today. The snow is moving in now, tracking from the southwest and going to the north and east. We're going to keep filling this in as the day progresses on with even more moisture farther off towards the south and west. So let's zoom things out just a little bit here. This is that push of moisture. So it's been raining over in parts of Boston, but just off to the north and east, especially in our neck of the woods, things are transitioning over to snow. This will mainly be a snow event with maybe a little bit of rain, though, along the coast. But low pressure here is tracking from the southwest to the north and east. It will be a quick mover, though. We'll get this precipitation out of here later on tonight. So futurecast moving forward, showing that snow moving in throughout the daytime period today. By tonight, though, by around 8 to 9 o'clock or so, maybe even a little bit earlier, most of the snow tapering off to just a few leftover snow showers. But by the time we head towards Saturday morning, it pretty much gets out of here in a rather consistent forecast. So as we'll hold on to the clouds throughout the daytime period Saturday, maybe a few breaks in the clouds, but notice they will not be clearing up anytime soon, though. At least through parts of Saturday night and even in the parts of Sunday, too, we will be holding on to the clouds there. But meanwhile, though, the snowfall for today, this is an additional snowfall on top of what's already fallen. Maybe another 1 to 3 inches on top of what's already fallen before we're all finished up. Locally, higher amounts cannot be ruled out. In total, 2 to 4 inches of snow could fall, locally up to 5 inches in some spots, so especially in the northern parts of our viewing area. But again, no, 1 to 3 inches of additional snowfall cannot be ruled out this afternoon. But otherwise, though, some gusty winds maybe up to around 15 miles per hour along the coast are possible today and in parts of tonight as well. And we'll keep those chances along the coast going as we head towards tomorrow as well before we start to back off during the afternoon period. So for the rest of today, here we go. Lower 30s, snow likely. Total snow accumulations of 2 to 4 inches, locally up to 5 inches as you get closer to Millinocket and other areas of the like, with that east wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. Later on tonight, middle 20s, mostly cloudy, a few leftover snow showers, and that northeast wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, middle 30s, mostly cloudy, and the wind overall looking nice and calm. Healing Hands Massage extended forecast. Here we go. Mostly cloudy on Sunday with highs in the upper 30s. Some more snow chances Monday with highs in the lower 20s. We cool off a bit. The lower 20s by Tuesday with a mostly sunny sky.
Thank you, Devin. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening with Peter Dubois and Beth Jones on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon and a great weekend.